They said oil was simple. Pump it, boil it, sell it. But Rockefeller looked at crude and saw something else: imperfection. To him, waste was a sin. A dirty flame was failure. While others chased barrels, he chased purity. And in the quiet hum of his Cleveland refineries, he began turning science into empire. Because this wasn't just business anymore. It was the birth of industrial alchemy, and it would turn oil from filth into the bloodstream of modern life. By the late 1860s, Pennsylvania's oil fields were madness. Wells gushed unchecked, rivers ran black, and crude furnaces belched smoke into the sky. Everyone was drilling. No one was thinking. Up to 40% of every barrel was wasted, spilled, burned, or dumped into streams. Kerosene was the only part worth saving. Everything else, naphtha, gas, wax, was trash. But Rockefeller saw what others didn't. He stood in the muck, coat buttoned tight, watching men spill profit by the bucket. And he whispered to himself, "We can do better than this." Where others saw chaos, he saw a system waiting to be built. In 1869, Standard Oil was still a local force, strong but not dominant. He could have expanded wildly, but instead he turned inward, investing not in more wells, but in knowledge. He hired chemists, engineers, and German-trained technicians, quiet men with notebooks instead of egos. They built small laboratories beside the furnaces, beakers bubbling, thermometers ticking, the air thick with sulfur and ambition. Every day Rockefeller walked through the lab floors. He'd stop by a flame, watching carefully, and ask, "How much is lost when you heat it that way? Can it burn cleaner? What if we distill it twice?" He wasn't a scientist, but he understood what science could do to cost, control, and consistency. And when he discovered that a few degrees of precision could double the purity of kerosene, he saw the future. Standard Oil refineries began to change. The roaring fires gave way to measured flames. Thermometers replaced guesswork. Sealed tanks replaced open vats. Every drop was logged, every temperature recorded. Waste was no longer waste. Kerosene, once dumped, powered machines. Wax became candles. Lubricants fueled factories. Even fumes were captured to heat the furnaces themselves. Every molecule had purpose. Rockefeller called it system. His rivals called it madness. But soon that madness became empire. Customers noticed. His kerosene burned brighter, cleaner, longer. Sailors called it the good light. And from America to China, one name began to dominate: Standard Oil. Science had turned quality into monopoly. Once people trusted his oil, they stopped buying anyone else's. Inside Standard's labs, innovation never stopped. Chemists refined sulfuric acid for reuse. Engineers built safer tank cars. Every discovery was shared across every plant, instantly. Rockefeller read their reports like scripture. For him, efficiency wasn't math, it was moral law. A leak was a sin against reason. A saved drop was an act of grace. When a worker once asked why he cared so much about saving so little, he said simply, "A drop saved here, a drop saved there, adds up to oceans." And that was his creed. To him, order wasn't just profitable, it was sacred. By 1875, Standard Oil's refineries were unlike any others. They wasted less, burned cleaner, and outproduced the world. But Rockefeller's true invention wasn't kerosene, it was control. He didn't just refine oil, he refined the act of refinement itself. He fused science with management, data with discipline, until the process became self-perpetuating. Inspectors who entered his plants didn't find corruption, they found perfection. Polished floors, measured logs, factories that ran like orchestras, not furnaces. And in the soft glow of those refineries, you can almost hear the hum of the future being born. Not in chaos or thunder, but in quiet precision. Because Rockefeller understood something timeless. Control the process, and you control the world.